Hey everyone, this is Scott from the Throughout the Trail podcast. Welcome to another edition of ReWatching Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Today I'm talking about Season 4, Episode 18, No Regrets. I'm just going to be starting off with the plot summary and then just talking about my general thoughts about this episode and any foreshadowing or Easter eggs I might have noticed. So yeah, let's just start with that plot summary, which says, Mace and Coulson infiltrate a Hydra enlightenment camp to free an undercover agent, Anton Triplett, a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent who died in the real world. They are tracked there by May, who uses the super serum to fight Mace. Through the vents in their holding cells, Daisy learns from Radcliffe of a backdoor he installed to escape the framework that Ada is unable to disable. Coulson attempts to save one of his former students, who he sees being held in the camp, and Mace follows him into a building to help. Hydra uses a missile to bring the building down, and May enters the rebel to ensure Mace is dead. She finds him stopping debris from crushing the student, with Coulson and Triplett helping other students escape the building. May is horrified to find children being victimized by Hydra, with the others having escaped to safety. Mace is crushed beneath the debris, and in the real world, Ada finds his physical body dead as well. Turning on Hydra, May sneaks a Terrigen crystal to Daisy so she can gain her inhuman abilities within the framework. So yeah, this is another great episode. I just love this framework storyline in general, but this is a fun and yet tragic episode because we do lose the character of Mace both in the framework and in the real world, which I think is a tragedy. I love the character of the Patriot, even though he did have some up and down moments. He was faking being an Inhuman, but that's just because he wanted to do his good. He just wanted to serve his country. He just wanted to help people. So I really liked his character, and the fact that we lose him in this episode is, I think, a little bit of a tragedy, but it's a great way to see him go out, especially for Mace himself, who always wanted to be the hero, and so he was able to finally do that by able to saving the team and these students, even though some of them aren't real. Anyways, I still am a little, it's a little sad to see his character go, but at least he gets a nice send-off. This episode, we also get Fitz's dad, which, I remember when I first watched this episode being like, oh, that's the thing that changed Fitz. He got a dick for a dad. In the real world, his dad wasn't around, I guess. So, that was a really fun little thing to kind of revisit in this episode, Fitz's and his dad's relationship that they have in the framework, and how that kind of applies to how he's different in the framework versus in the real world, and we explore that more throughout this season and next season, so I really enjoy that little bit being introduced. We also get in this episode Gemma telling Mace and Ward about the framework and how pretty much Ward isn't real, and they don't believe her, which don't exactly blame them when you are told you're not a real person. It's kind of hard to comprehend, and she doesn't comprehend for some reason. She's a very smart lady, but she doesn't quite comprehend that these programs are programmed not to believe that they're not Yeah, exactly. So they believe they're humans, so being told that they're not humans, it's like, how do you expect anyone to actually believe you on that? But nonetheless, that's just her own impatience with the situation, her own frustration with it all going on, which I can comprehend. I'm a very impatient person sometimes, so I understand that. But on to something I really enjoyed about this episode, which was Triplett. We got Trips back, which was just so great considering, he was killed off in this show, but it was nice to have an excuse to bring him back in for at least a couple episodes. So I love that they took that opportunity with the framework to bring him back and just give us a few more episodes with him just being his good old Trip self. So I really enjoyed that he was added into it. We get May using a super serum versus Mace, which was a cool fight. I think, May should always be super serumed up, but that's just how I feel. But she's also super already, so it might be unfair. A little OP. That's overpowered, right? I don't play video games. Anyways, on to the last thing I had written down, which was May at the end turning on Hydra and then giving a Terrigen crystal to Daisy so that she can have inhuman powers within the framework, which I just like that they have to go through that mechanism within the framework in order for her to have her powers, and that somehow that works as a program. But I like it nonetheless. You'd think maybe Ada would have, deleted that part of her programming if she could. Can she delete that? I don't know. Maybe she should have just deleted all Terrigen crystals. I feel like Ada definitely missed a little something when it came to, letting Daisy be able to have her powers in the framework. But nonetheless, I still enjoyed it. Nonetheless, that's how we leave off this episode and we go on to the next episode. But yeah, that's all my thoughts about this episode. Be sure to let me know in the comments below what you thought about it. If you liked it, if you didn't, be sure to let me know in the comments below. Thanks again for joining me today. Be sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And have a good one.